Hey everybody, this is Joe Gilder from HomeStudioCorner.com. Today we're going to talk about monitor speaker placement, or studio monitor placement, whatever you want to call them. These right here, these two big old speakers, those are my studio monitors. Okay, these are how I mix. These are good, nice, accurate. These are BX66s, I think, EX66s from M-Audio. I don't think they make them anymore. But we're going to talk about speaker placement. Let's say you just got your set of studio monitors and you want to know where to put them. Okay? You might think just set them up in front of you and fire them at your face, right? Well, yes, but there's some things to keep in mind that might work a little bit better. Okay, first of all, most speakers, when you set them up, are required to what they call toe in. So angle them in towards your head. So you make an equilateral triangle with the speakers in your head, and then you have the speakers angled towards you. These speakers are an exception. They're designed to face forward. However, the equilateral triangle is still a good general rule of thumb. If you don't know what an equilateral triangle is, it means the distance between the speakers is also the same distance between one of the speakers and your head. So all three measurements are the same. That's a general good rule of thumb you'll find in most speaker monitor users' manuals of how to set them up. Okay? Another thing to keep in mind is you want to get them off the wall as much as possible. You can't really tell in this video, but these are about 12 to 15 inches off away from the back wall. That allows them some room for the bass frequencies to develop, and it keeps the bass frequencies from building up too much if you get them close to the wall. If you've ever noticed, if you stand in a corner while some music is playing, you'll hear a lot more bass. Bass tends to build up in the corner. As you move the speakers closer to the wall, they kind of create their own corner back there, and the bass frequencies tend to build up. The other thing is a lot of speakers are ported on the back, so they've got this big hole in the back. These do. That's where the bass kind of comes out and starts to enter into the room. So if you back it up completely to the wall, that bass frequency gets blocked and can't really come around and do its thing. So it needs some room to breathe. It's just generally a good idea with any speakers, except for a handful that may be designed to be right up on the wall. Otherwise, it's a good idea to have them off the wall as much as possible. Now, at some point, you get them so far that they're going to interfere with the rest of the room, and you have to, you can't have them in the middle of the room because that takes up all the space. But if you can have them off the wall, any studio you've ever been to, you'll notice the speakers aren't anywhere close to the wall. They're usually a good ways off, usually, okay? So that's a good idea for your studio as well. Another thing to keep in mind is if you have sidewalls, you can't see my side walls here, but you want to make sure that the distance from the back wall and the side wall are different distances. So if it's 1 foot off the back wall, it doesn't also need to be 1 foot from the side wall. That equal distance will cause more issues as far as acoustically, all that acoustical physics stuff that I'm not going to go into. You want to have them at different distances. So for example, mine are 1 foot off the back wall and about 3 feet off the side wall. That's a great deal. If I went 3 feet off the back wall, they'd also be 3 feet off the side wall. That's no bueno. So you want to have those be different if you can. Okay? The final thing I want to talk about is what you put your speakers on. Now, you may have just dropped several $100s on a good set of studio monitors. Good for you. You're excited, you want to get them set up, you don't want to spend any more money. I understand that. However, this one thing can make a huge difference. You see right here, these are monitor isolation pads. These happen to be from Editor's Keys. I've got some over here that are from RLX. They're called Mopads. I love both. They're essentially kind of the same product. What they do is they isolate the monitors from whatever they're sitting on, and they do something called decoupling. What it does doesn't really matter. The end result is that the bass response of the speakers is dramatically improved. Everything sounds much tighter when you get them up off of your table or your desk. Okay? It just does. You should try it. You'll hear more bass. It's kind of like you're floating your speaker. Okay? So those are a couple tips for setting up your monitors. As always, try some different things and see what you like the best. But the things I mentioned in this video are a good starting point for you.